Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I might seem a little off in today's video, but that's just because I feel like I really don't know what I am talking about. And let me just, get right into the video so I can explain why I don't know what's going on. So I got a package in the mail the other day, and when I opened it, all I saw were these. These are the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Concealers. Now, I have done a video on the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Foundation, so when I opened it, it was pretty easy to put together that, this must be the concealer to that foundation. But then I looked it up online because I hadn't seen anything about these concealers, and I follow Makeup Revolution on Instagram. I follow Trend Mood. If it was on Trend Mood, then I just must have missed the post. But I felt like even on their own Instagram, I didn't see anything. But then I had to scroll down, and July 18th, they posted that this is a Brighten and Banish Under Eye Fast Base Concealer. Twist and fix by dotting the concealer under your eyes with a gentle cushion applicator, then gently blend out product with your fingers, a brush, or a sponge for instant radiant eyes. Available in 14 shades. Swipe for swatches. I'll put the swatches here on the screen. Shop now for either £5, UK, or $8 here in the US. Coming soon as Superdrug and launching in stores at Superdrug the 22nd of August. Vegan, cruelty free. So yeah, look at those swatch. Actually, you know what? I have 6 of the 14 shades here, so let me just go ahead and swatch those. Alrighty then. So here I have C9, and we're just going to. We have C9, and I'm just going to swatch on my chest, make life easier, and also make sure you can see it. So that is I might have to set up. That is C9. And then we have C11. What does that smell? It smells like something, just not sure what. And we're going to put C11 right there. This is C12. That didn't work. So this is C13, C14, and last but not least, there is C16. Right there. So those are the last 6 shades. I'm assuming, because I feel like they wouldn't send me like the very first shade in the range, and even kind of matches up with the picture of the swatches. There are 2 that I'm assuming are supposed to be like deep dark shades. At least in the picture, they look deep dark on the arm that they're swatched on. A shade that's dark, and then tan shades, and then what is supposed to be medium, but this is pretty fair. I'm a little confused that this is what the last 6 of the shades look like, because we started out so well this year with Makeup Revolution. They came out with the concealer, which I should here, the Conceal and Define concealer. This, I believe, has 20 plus shades maybe. It goes pretty dark in this concealer, and they came out with the Fast Base Foundation, which also goes pretty dark, both in the concealer and the foundation. I was able to find contour shades, so for them to have that energy in the beginning of the year and then this energy with this new product, it's just kind of like, keep that same energy, and there'll be someone out there, they can never please you guys. You guys are always, no, sis. You ain't please no one when the last 6 of the shades that you come out with look like this. But let me just go ahead and put it on my face. So I'm sitting here, and I feel like the only logical thing to do would be to use 13 as my concealer shade today, because I do like a highlighted under eye look, but the rebel in me kind of wants to try 12 just to see like how far we can push those boundaries. And I'm sure someone would be like, well, maybe the other shades just look lighter, but you can still make them work. So I have 2 sides of my face, so I figured why not try 12 on one side and 13 on the other. Alrighty then, so let's give 12 a go. I'm just going to, ooh, that's a lot. Just gonna go ahead and blend her out. Okay, and then I'm gonna do C13 on the other side. A little goes a long way, so that's already too much there. All right, let's I usually don't say anything, but I feel like if I don't say this now, I won't remember to say anything, or I won't remember to say this when I come back. This feels tacky. Like, you know how you're supposed to let like eyelash glue dry down and get tacky before you put your lashes on? That's kind of what this feels like, trying to blend it out. And there's a scent. Is it rice? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and set that with the Beauty Bakery powder. This is the sponge that NYX is coming out with. I mentioned it in the video, but I didn't actually show it. And I like this for setting under eye, if you set your under eye with a sponge, because it has these flat surfaces, which makes it a little easier to get in certain crevices. So, yeah, I got a speck of mascara there on my eye, so I'm gonna have to wait for that to dry down so I can remove that. But you know what? I think we're gonna call that it for makeup today. It is currently 11:15, so I'm going to go about my day and come back later so you can see how this held up on my face and give me my thoughts on this product. Okay, so I am back and it is now 5:46, and this is what my face is looking like. Yeah, we had to wrap the hair up because I felt like my hair was getting frizzy before I even left for the day, and it's just getting hotter and hotter as the day goes by. So, oh, also, yeah, the swatches got messed up during the day. The lady at the grocery store probably thinks I'm a nut, but YOLO. But those are what the swatches look like 6+ hours later. And let me just rewind to when I left for the day. So I turned the camera off and I was just sitting here, and something just didn't feel right about my face. So I went back to the Instagram post. Let me just read that as a refresher as to what at least this claims. So it says, brighten and banish under eye circles fast with our new fast base concealer. Twist and fix by dotting the concealer under your eyes with a gentle cushion applicator, then gently blend out product with your fingers, a brush, or a sponge for instant radiant eyes. Now see, those are the two words that just threw everything off for your girl, okay? The words brighten and radiant. Because I heard those two words, I for some reason thought that this was going to be a dewy finish concealer. So when I was putting it on, I realized that it was not taking to my nose area, like whatsoever, or the areas around my eyebrows. And I've mentioned before that those are the areas where I have dry patches on my face. And I realized that almost instantly my face felt really tight, like just really, and I was just like, what is going on? And instantly my under eye area felt really dry. And for the most part, I don't have the driest under eye areas, but I could feel, even right now, I can feel that my under eye, and pretty much like anywhere I put this concealer, my face is really dry right now. So I was like, what is going on? And then I went back to the post and I started reading the comments, and I saw a comment that said, is this a dewy finish concealer? And at least whoever is running the Instagram account replied and said, this is a matte finish concealer. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So this is a matte finish concealer, and they ain't lying. This is a matte finish. I feel like the lighting has gone in and out at least 3 times while I've been talking now. My bad. This is a matte finish concealer. It's sucking the life out of my face right now, and I feel like the only thing I can compare it to how I felt like this before was when I tried the Too Faced cooling primer, the one that smells like peach. That was when I felt the way I feel right now, and I absolutely hate feeling makeup on my face, and I've felt this on my face the entire day because the entire day my face has felt like a desert. But let me just go through like the things that people usually want to know about concealers, and then we'll wrap this whole video up. So it is a matte finish concealer. They claim it is a medium coverage concealer but buildable. I do think it is buildable, but this is, now mind you, when I first put it on, I put on quite a bit. Like I felt like I had to take some off because of how much it looked like I had put on my face. But it is a buildable concealer, but it's borderline like sheer medium type of concealer, because even now, even when I thought like I had put too much concealer on my face, especially if I get really up close into my face, I feel like you can still kind of see the areas under here. And because it's supposed to be an under eye brightening concealer, and I don't have, you know, the darkest of bags under my eyes, I don't have the darkest areas under my eyes, and that you can kind of still see them, how good of a job is it going to do at, you know, brightening up your under eye area and making it so people can't see the darkness under your eyes unless you put a whole bunch on your face, because I feel like I've got a medium amount on my face right now and you can still low-key kind of see that. So I do think it is a buildable coverage, but it's more so like sheer medium coverage. You can't get full though, you're just gonna have to put a lot on your face. Creasing, I feel like for the most part I'm creasing where I usually crease when it comes to concealers, which is this area right here. Sometimes depending on the concealer I'll start creasing in this area right here, but this bad boy right here usually saves me, which is why I love setting my under eye with this. But that leads me into the whole oil control thing. I have combo oily skin, and I use this powder because usually, you know, I'm good with any areas that I put this powder on, controlling my oil. And I also have the Bobbi Brown Skin Weightless Foundation on right now. I'm wearing a NARS, what do you call it? You are the NARS Pore and Shine Control Primer. So I feel like I have a good amount of mattifying and oil controlling products on my face right now, so that might also be part of the reason why my face feels so dry, because I've mentioned before that you don't need to put 18,000 different mattifying products on your face to control your oil, because then you're stripping your face of oil so much that your face is going to produce more oil to kind of compensate for what you've taken away from it with all the products that you put on your face. So I don't like putting a whole bunch of mattifying products on my face to begin with, but I know that the extra dryness that I'm feeling right now is the concealer, because I've used the other three with other concealers before, and my face has done a pretty good job at balancing out between matte and natural dewy finish there. So I know it's the only thing that's new is the concealer, which is why I'm putting the emphasis on the concealer being dry right now. But with all that being said, I think for the most part, anywhere that I put the concealer is pretty matte right now, except for the places where the concealer didn't take, which is my dry patches. So I feel like for the most part, you know, this area right here and this area right here is still pretty matte. So it's a mattifying concealer, and I feel like those areas still stay pretty matte. It's really just my nose that's the oiliest right now, and like this area right here, which is where my dry patches are. So I feel like anywhere the concealer didn't stick is where my oil is coming through. So I do feel like this concealer does a good job at mattifying your face or keeping your face matte, especially if you're using other products that are going to keep your face matte. And really, last but not least would be the shades, which I think you could tell from the beginning of the video I was not impressed with. I get it, you know, people are going to say, well, it's a brightening concealer and you usually go like 2 shades brighter with whatever you're concealing with. Okay, but there are people who are darker than me who would have to go to like my shade to highlight with, and my shade is like which one's the last one? If I was going to use this concealer as a foundation, I would probably have to use this shade right here, which is the second to last one, if not a mixture between the two. So there you're already, you know, we're already at the last two that someone darker than me could use, and that's maybe to highlight, because there's also a thing of like undertone, which the undertone variation here isn't the best. But if you go to the other side of the spectrum, if I could, now I personally would not highlight my face with C12. If you guys don't remember, one side of my face is C12, the other side of my face is C13. I personally would not highlight my face with C12, but there are people out there who are my skin tone who would highlight with C12 and they'd be perfectly fine and they would look great and be merry. I would personally use the shade C13, but there are people who could use C12. So we're already 4 shades that someone my skin tone would have to jump to use this as a brightening concealer. And there are only 14 shades in this concealer. I'll have the little swatches pop up here. We're already 4 shades into the deepest shades that these come in. So someone who's like pretty, you know, medium tan can already be using like the 3rd shade that this concealer comes in. So then what are fair skin tones supposed to use to brighten their eyes? For them to go from that to this is disappointing. So I'm gonna say that and out loud. And if you have a problem with that, I don't know what to tell you. That sounds like a personal problem, fam. So I'm not the happiest with the shade range, and again, the undertones make it even harder of a job here trying to find something that's going to work on your face. So my thoughts on the concealer all around, I just wasn't that happy trying this concealer out. Now, the colors are one thing. I feel like it's going to be a struggle for some people to even find a shade that they would want to buy to try this concealer. But even if some people were able to move past that, I can't get past the formula of this concealer. Now, if you are super duper oily, you know, you've tried everything and nothing seems to work on your face, then maybe this is something that you might want to try. But I'd like to think that my skin is pretty oily. You know, you guys have seen some of the times when I come back with foundation hunts and my whole face just looks like I just got back from the gym. So the fact that I am sitting here saying that this feels pretty drying on my face says a lot. It's not for me. Maybe there are some people out there who have excessive oils that their oils can balance out how drying this is because they need that mattifyingness for their oils, and that's great. I suggest you try this if that is you. But if that is not you, I don't know how you're gonna make this work on your face. Okay, so because I own a couple of the new fast-based concealer and a couple of the older Conceal and Define concealers, I decided to swatch the corresponding numbers together to see, you know, like what we come up with. So right here is the new fast-based concealer in C13, the Conceal and Define in C13, the fast-based concealer, the new one in C14, and the Conceal and Define in C14. So newer, older, and I'm confused for a couple reasons. One, don't these look like the same shades next to each other? If not for like slight differences in undertone, the two C13s and the two C14s pretty much look like the same shades. So why couldn't they have just put out the same shades in the new formula? And two, why would you buy this newer formula over this one if they have, well, for the most part, if they have the same shades? And if this one has more shades, they're both matte concealers. I thought this was a dewy concealer, but they're both matte concealers. For the most part, you can find the same shades in both concealers, but this formula is just a whole lot easier to deal with and a whole lot more comfortable on your face. So why, in God's name, would I recommend this over this? If you want one of these, go get you this one. And I think this one might even be cheaper. I think this is $7 while this one is $8. What is going on? So that is it for me testing this concealer out. I really am ending this video quite confused right now. If you were thinking of trying out one of these concealers, I most certainly would go recommend the Conceal and Define Makeup Revolution. I don't know if you were just like testing out how this concealer was going to do. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and add all these other shades that you have in the Conceal and Define in this one. And you might want to go back and, you know, tweak that just a little bit. You know, I know some people might want all of the oils sucked out of their face, but they still want to be able to feel their face though. And when I say feel their face, I mean like they still want to feel like oxygen is still getting to their face. Because I'm feeling my face right now, but it's feeling pretty dry, and I don't like that. So yeah. So I just realized that my background light was not on, so I turned it on. Now you can see me and all of this face in an even brighter light. But that is pretty much it. I hope hearing me talk about these concealers and seeing it on my face has helped if you're thinking of trying this out for yourself. Make sure to thumbs up, comment, and subscribe down below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! And the lighting is still going in and out in the background. But now that that brighter light is on, let me just show you the comparison once again. So there you've got the two C13s and the two C14s that literally look like the same shades. I'm not feeling it. And I'm not sure if it's most likely coming across on my face that I'm not feeling it, but I'm not feeling it. If anything, if I had to pick a shade, C13 does work as a highlight shade on my face. It's the formula that I don't like. Can you see my under eye? Like, especially if my skin moves, I feel like it looks really snake skin like. I don't have the nail life for wrapping for packaging like this. My chest is starting to itch. she is bright. My Haitian ass would smell rice. Yikes, I don't think this concealer likes my nose.